After surviving a deadly encounter with the black-clothed woman, Ye Xuan follows the trail of the Dao Rule back to Two Realms Mountain. Deep beneath the Sword Lord's cave residence, he discovers the Dao Rule of the earth, a power that can strengthen his body, awaken the power of the earths, and change the way he fights forever. But while Ye Xuan grows stronger, danger is already closing in. Drunken Immortal Tower turns against the Ninth Princess. Kangmo Academy moves from the shadows, and Fen Zhu returns to the Imperial capital with his eyes fixed on Kanglin Academy. Now let us follow the next developments in The First Sword God, Episode 14. Release. At this moment Ye Xuan wanted only release, mad release. In the darkness the sky became his blanket and the earth became his bed. In his arms he held a delicate young woman, the trees swayed, hair scattered. Every movement made one tremble as if about to soar into the heavens. Again and again, each sound louder than the last. The moon grew shy. The moon grew bashful, quietly hiding itself away. No one knew how much time had passed before dawn gradually appeared on the horizon. Beneath the tree, everything had fallen silent. At this moment, Ye Xuan lay on the ground. On the tree in front of him was the woman in black. No. She was no longer dressed in black. Her figure was completely exposed to the air. The woman looked exhausted. At that moment, Ye Xuan, lying on the ground, moved slightly. Then he sat up. His head felt as though it was about to explode. That was what Ye Xuan felt right now. He shook his head hard. Only after a long while did his mind feel a little better. As if remembering something, he suddenly raised his head and looked at the woman before him. At this moment, the woman had not a single thread on her body. Her perfect figure was completely revealed before his eyes, and there was still a trace of blood on her thigh. At this moment, Ye Xuan remembered everything. He moved his gaze away and said heavily in his heart, "Senior, why did you not stop me?" The mysterious woman's voice sounded. "How was I supposed to stop you? Cure your poison?" Ye Xuan's voice was heavy. "Could Senior not cure the poison?" The mysterious woman replied, "I could." Ye Xuan was about to speak, but the mysterious woman continued, "Do you know what I have always hated most? I hate people who do not keep their words." This woman went back on her word, so she deserved to taste the bitter fruit herself. Ye Xuan smiled bitterly, "Senior, but I." The mysterious woman said, "You were the one who benefited. What are you still dissatisfied about, Ye Xuan?" At this moment the mysterious woman spoke again, "Kill her and then we leave." "Kill." Ye Xuan froze. The mysterious woman said softly, "Otherwise, what do you plan to do with this woman's strength if you do not kill her? Then when she wants to kill you in the future, it will be no different from pinching an ant to death. Do not expect anything from me. The last time I acted, it consumed a great deal of my strength. This time, acting again has worsened my condition even more. At most, I can still hold on for one day. After one day, I will fall into a deep sleep. Within this one day, we must obtain that Dao Rule." Ye Xuan's expression became grave. "Senior, are you all right? If you find the Dao Rule, I will be a little better," the mysterious woman replied. Ye Xuan nodded. He hesitated for a moment, then looked toward the woman before him. At this time, she was staring fixedly at him. Her expression was very calm, and there was not the slightest ripple in her eyes. Ye Xuan thought for a moment, then walked up to her and looked directly at her. "I am your first man and you are my first woman. Neither of us has lost out." After saying this, he picked up the clothes on the ground and dressed the woman. When he put her trousers on her, he felt something stir inside him again. Perhaps he was a little excited. It was because of the medicine. It was because of the medicine. Ye Xuan took a deep breath. He thought to himself that the drug in his body must still be there. Yes, it had to be because of the medicine. "The medicinal effect in your body has already faded," the mysterious woman suddenly said. Ye Xuan. A moment later, Ye Xuan forcefully suppressed the turmoil in his heart and finished dressing the woman. However, her clothes had been torn apart by him earlier. So at this moment, some spring scenery was still exposed. Ye Xuan took off his own outer robe and covered the woman with it. Then he turned and left. "If you do not kill me, you will regret it," the woman suddenly said. Her voice was cold without the slightest emotion. Ye Xuan stopped. Even if you kill me, I will still have been your man, ha ha. After saying this, he strode away. Before long, Ye Xuan disappeared from the woman's sight. Not long after Ye Xuan disappeared, the 2 streaks of sword light on her body also vanished. After regaining her freedom, her expression immediately became savage. Boom. Countless bolts of lightning suddenly surged out from within her. In an instant, the forest within several dozen zhang was flattened into open ground. The woman flew into the sky and looked around, but by now she could no longer sense Ye Xuan's aura at all. That young man seemed to have vanished from the human world. Her expression was terrifyingly fierce. A moment later, her body trembled and disappeared into the horizon. She arrived at a capital city. This city was the imperial capital of Ning Kingdom. The moment the woman reached the city gate, countless soldiers in front of the city knelt in unison. Greetings, your majesty. The woman's figure flashed and she went directly into the city. Before long, she reached the imperial palace. Along the path she passed, every soldier knelt. After entering the palace, the woman went straight to the main hall. She sat upon the throne and picked up a writing brush. A moment later, a figure appeared on the paper before her. That person was Ye Xuan. The woman looked at the person in the portrait and said coldly, "Send the Golden Crow Guards to Jiang Kingdom to investigate this person. In 3 days, I want every piece of information about him." A voice sounded from a corner, dead or alive. The woman's gaze gradually grew cold. Somewhere deep in the mountains, Ye Xuan ran at full speed the entire way. He suddenly asked Senior, "Do you think I was soft-hearted?" The mysterious woman replied, "If you had killed her, I would have looked down on you." Ye Xuan was slightly stunned. "Why? Were you not the one who told me to kill her?" The woman replied, "If you had killed her, it would mean you feared her. For a sword cultivator, fear is the greatest taboo. Not killing her proves that you are not afraid. Or rather, it proves that you believe you can become stronger than her in the future. That is very good." Ye Xuan hesitated for a while, then said, "Well, Senior. Actually, I did not think that much," the mysterious woman. Seeing that she did not speak, Ye Xuan immediately felt something was wrong and hurriedly added, "Of course, Senior is right. As a man, how could I fear a woman? In the future, I must become stronger. I must become a sword immortal. I must make that woman understand that having slept with me is something she can be proud of for the rest of her life." "Stop, stop, stop." The mysterious woman said, "If you keep talking, I am afraid I will not be able to resist cutting you down." Ye Xuan. One day later, Ye Xuan returned to Two Realms Mountain. "Senior, I remember that woman never told us where she sensed the power of the earth. Just follow my directions." Ye Xuan nodded and quickened his pace. Near evening, under the mysterious woman's guidance, Ye Xuan once again returned to the Sword Lord's cave residence. He kept going downward. A while later, he reached the entrance of the underground palace. At that moment, the mysterious woman suddenly said, "Do not go inside, go to the right." Ye Xuan turned his head. To the right was a cliff wall, there was no path at all. The mysterious woman ordered, "Smash it." Ye Xuan nodded. He walked up to the cliff wall and punched. Boom. The cliff wall collapsed, but behind it was still another wall of rock. "Keep striking," the mysterious woman said again. Ye Xuan nodded and continued punching. After striking for about half a quarter of an hour, a small stone-paved path appeared before him. Another space, Ye Xuan froze. The mysterious woman instructed, "Go down." Ye Xuan nodded and slowly descended. The farther he went, the more surprised he became, because beneath this place was truly an underground world. He walked for nearly half an hour, yet still had not reached the end. After another half hour, Ye Xuan discovered that the surroundings were becoming hotter and hotter. "Keep going." The mysterious woman's voice sounded again. Ye Xuan nodded and continued downward. Another half hour passed. By this point, his face had been burned red by the heat. Ye Xuan stopped. "Senior, it is too hot." The mysterious woman was silent for a moment, then said, "Use sword light to protect your body." Ye Xuan nodded. He took out the Lianxiu Sword and released sword light around himself. With the sword light blocking the heat, he immediately felt much better. "Continue," the mysterious woman said again. Ye Xuan nodded and moved faster. The farther downward he went, the hotter the surroundings became. Still, he could endure it, Dao Rule. He had not forgotten what the mysterious woman had said. If he obtained a Dao Rule, his strength could increase greatly. Of course, the most important thing was that once he possessed a Dao Rule, it might make the thing on the second floor feel a little wary. Otherwise, if that thing occasionally came out and slapped him for no reason, it would be truly unbearable. After walking for another half hour, Ye Xuan stopped. Because in front of him was lava, there was truly no road left. Ye Xuan was about to speak, but then he suddenly looked toward the center of the lava not far away. At this moment, something yellow-brown was floating there. Ye Xuan focused his gaze. A moment later, he was stunned. On that yellow-brown object was a single character, Earth. That character floated at the center of the lava. Every time the lava touched it, the lava turned into nothingness. Senior. Ye Xuan asked, "Do not tell me this is." "A Dao Rule," the mysterious woman answered, "the Dao Rule of the Earth. If you can subdue it, then in future battles, you need only stomp your foot on the ground to obtain an endless stream of the power of the Earth. In addition, with it, you will be able to control the first floor of the World Prison Tower. At that time, you can store things on the first floor, and you may even use it to suppress enemies." Hearing this, Ye Xuan immediately grew somewhat excited. "Senior, how do I subdue it?" The mysterious woman said, "Do not celebrate too early. Although this Dao Rule was once severely injured, it will instinctively resist. So if you want to subdue it, the process may be somewhat difficult and painful." Ye Xuan nodded. "A little pain is nothing. I can endure it. Good." The mysterious woman said, "Now calm yourself. Follow my guidance. Slowly sense the World Prison Tower, then summon it." Ye Xuan slowly closed his eyes. More than 10 seconds later, he suddenly opened them. A faint little tower appeared between his brows. Boom. In an instant, all the lava underground turned into nothingness. At that moment, the yellow-brown character in the distance trembled slightly, then transformed into a yellow-brown light that flew into Ye Xuan's forehead. Crack. After a cracking sound rang out, Ye Xuan's eyes opened wide. Blood filled his eyes. Ah. Almost every part of Ye Xuan's body began cracking at a speed visible to the naked eye. Fresh blood flowed out. "Senior. This is not just a little painful. This is trying to take my life. Ah. Perhaps I overestimated your strength, Ye Xuan." It was over. That was the thought in Ye Xuan's mind right now, because he felt as if his entire body were splitting apart. At that moment, the World Prison Tower between his brows suddenly disappeared. At the same time, a yellow-brown energy covered his whole body. Boom. Ye Xuan's body trembled violently, in the blink of an eye. Countless streams of yellow-brown energy continuously gathered from the surroundings, then surged into his body through his feet. As this energy entered him, his body, which had originally been cracking apart, actually began to slowly close, healing. Clearly, this Dao Rule was repairing his body. Although the Dao Rule was helping him heal, the pain coming from his body still made Ye Xuan feel as though life was worse than death. Because in that one moment earlier, he had felt as if thousands of soldiers and horses were pulling his body apart. That tearing sensation nearly made him faint. Fortunately, he forcefully endured it. If he had fainted at that moment, the consequences would have been extremely serious. Just like that, Ye Xuan's body slowly healed. About an hour later, the cracks across his skin had completely closed. Not only that, his entire body now carried a faint pale gold color. Ye Xuan slowly opened his eyes. He looked at his body, then subconsciously clenched both fists. Whoosh. Countless strands of golden energy suddenly appeared around him. This energy was like a golden suit of battle armor, dazzling to the extreme. "What is this?" Ye Xuan asked, confused. The mysterious woman's voice sounded, "Armor of the Earth. It is condensed from the power of the Earth. As long as you stand on the ground, you can condense this armor and obtain the power of the Earth. However, with your current realm, you can maintain it for at most half an hour. After half an hour, if you do not release the power of the Earth and the armor of the Earth, you will suffer backlash." Armor of the Earth. Power of the Earth. Ye Xuan froze, then asked, "Senior, does that Dao Rule belong to me now?" The mysterious woman replied, "You are dreaming. This Dao Rule of the Earth was not created by you. Right now, you are only borrowing its powers. A thing at the level of a Dao Rule is still far beyond what you can comprehend. Borrowing it now will greatly help you understand Dao Rules in the future. What you must do right now consists of only 3 things. First, cultivate the sword. Second, train your martial arts. Third, search for swords to absorb. As for this Dao Rule, it is too powerful. Right now, you can at most display 2/10 of its power. But that is already enough for you to use, Ye Xuan nodded. Then he looked at the golden battle armor on his body. Senior, although I am only in the Kai Change realm right now, I should be able to easily defeat a Skysor realm expert, right? The mysterious woman replied, what you should be thinking about now is whether you can easily defeat a Nether Passage realm expert. Not a Skysor realm expert, understand, Nether Passage realm. Ye Xuan's expression stiffened. He hesitated slightly, then said, fighting across 2 major realms. Is that not a little too much, a little too much? The mysterious woman said coldly in my era. Those who could not instantly defeat an opponent 2 realms above them were too embarrassed to call themselves geniuses. Ye Xuan. At this time the mysterious woman said earlier, I bound that woman in black for you. Just now I suppressed the power of the Dao Rule for you as well. I am very tired now. I need to rest for a period of time. Otherwise, I will not have much strength left to suppress this thing. In any case, from now on, you can only rely on yourself. If you encounter another Dao Rule, this tower will remind you. Ye Xuan asked in a deep voice, Senior, are you all right? The mysterious woman replied softly, do not worry about me. Even if you and everyone suppressed inside this tower die, I will not die. I only need to rest for a while, take good care of yourself. I do not hope to wake up next time only to find that you have already died. Also, the World Prison Tower can be used against enemies, but I do not hope you will use it. Every time you use it, the seals inside the tower will loosen a little. You must control yourself. Furthermore, although you are the master of the tower, you still cannot truly control this tower. So unless you have no other choice, do not use it. Otherwise, if the tower backlashes, you may wish you were dead. Ye Xuan hesitated, then said, Senior, why do I feel like you are giving your last words? Are you really all right? The mysterious woman asked in return, do you want to know why flowers are so red? Ye Xuan. At this time, the mysterious woman said again, one last thing. The one on the 2nd floor has no killing intent toward you. It only wants to get out. But right now, you still do not have the ability to release it. Even if you did, you would need to think carefully. Although that thing has been suppressed for many years and its strength has fallen greatly, you are still no match for it now. It hits me from time to time, Ye Xuan suddenly said, feeling wronged. It really likes hitting people for no reason. The mysterious woman said softly, many times, I also want to beat you to death, Ye Xuan. The mysterious woman continued, little fellow, do your best to survive. After saying this, she fell completely silent. Ye Xuan's expression became grave. Clearly, the mysterious woman had entered a state of deep sleep. He took a deep breath. From now on, he truly could only rely on himself. As if thinking of something, Ye Xuan slowly closed his eyes. 1 second later, a small character appeared between his brows. Earth, a Dao Rule. Ye Xuan clenched both fists. In an instant, an endless stream of power of the earth surged beneath his feet. That power of the earth gathered toward him like a tide. In the blink of an eye, another golden suit of armor appeared on his body. Armor of the earth. He gently touched the armor of the earth. With how solid it was, it could definitely withstand one strike from a peak Nether Passage realm expert. It might even be able to endure the lightning of that woman in black from before. Of course, Ye Xuan was not completely certain. And even if it could block such an attack, he feared he would end up crippled afterward. Aside from the armor of the earth, he also sensed a powerful force within his body. Ye Xuan silently pondered for a moment. Then he left the underground and returned to the surface. He looked around, then he clenched both fists. In an instant, powerful power of the earth gathered into his body. Ye Xuan stood still for a moment, then suddenly punched the ground. Collapsing fist. This punch was delivered with all his strength. Besides the power of the earth inside him, it also contained fist force and battle intent. The punch landed, boom. The ground within 30 zhang of him collapsed. Countless clouds of dust and shattered rocks flew in all directions, leaving the surroundings in complete disorder. 2 seconds later, a huge pit nearly half a zhang deep had appeared around Ye Xuan. Not only that, the ground dozens of zhang away was still gradually cracking. The power of this punch was terrifying. Ye Xuan looked at his right hand, excitement in his eyes. This punch now fully possessed the power of a low-grade earth-rank martial technique. In other words, among his current attacks, this punch was second only to one sword decides life and death. After his sword advanced to a bright sword, the power of one sword decides life and death had risen to a completely new level. To put it simply, anyone below the Nether Passage realm could now be handled by him at will. No. Even a Nether Passage realm expert could be fought. Ye Xuan withdrew the power of the earth and walked quickly into the distance with a grin. At this moment, even his steps felt much lighter. He soon returned to Two Realms City. At this time, experts occasionally flew through the sky above Two Realms City. What was going on? Ye Xuan frowned. He hurried into the city. The moment he entered, Xianxia appeared before him with a group of people. Xianxia examined him and asked, "Are you all right?" Ye Xuan shook his head. "I am fine." "By the way, what happened in Two Realms City?" Xianxia said heavily, "Let us go back first." After saying this, she led Ye Xuan back to her camp. Inside the camp, Xianxia said in a deep voice, "Those people above the city are all experts from Drunken Immortal Tower. According to the information I have, it seems the experts of Drunken Immortal Tower lost track of that black-clothed person. So that high-grade earth-rank martial technique may not be recovered." Ye Xuan asked, "Drunken Immortal Tower should compensate you, right?" Xianxia said softly, "Who knows?" At that moment, a voice sounded outside the tent. "Your Highness, Manager Zhu of Drunken Immortal Tower requests an audience." Inside the tent, Xianxia smiled. "It seems we are about to find out whether they will compensate or not." After saying this, she turned toward the outside of the tent. "Invite her in." A moment later, Zhu King walked in. When she saw Ye Xuan here as well, she was slightly stunned, then nodded lightly in greeting. Zhu King walked before Xianxia and bowed slightly. "Your Highness, I came today because of that high-grade earth-rank martial technique." Xianxia smiled. "What is it?" "Has Drunken Immortal Tower recovered the martial technique?" Zhu King's expression became somewhat unnatural. She shook her head. "My apologies. It has not yet been recovered. But we have already sent 3 Divine Union Realm experts. I believe that before long." "What if you cannot recover it?" Xianxia suddenly interrupted her. Zhu King said in a heavy tone, "My Drunken Immortal Tower will definitely recover it. 9th Princess, please trust us, Xianxia shook her head and interrupted Zhu King again. "Manager Zhu, I am asking, what if you fail to recover it?" Zhu King was silent for a moment, then answered, "If we cannot recover it, Drunken Immortal Tower will compensate your highness." Hearing this, Xianxia smiled and asked, "How much?" Zhu King replied, 10 million gold coins. Hearing this, Ye Xuan, who stood not far away, was stunned. Xianxia's face turned cold. 10 million gold coins. "Manager Zhu, are you joking with me?" Zhu King said indifferently, "Your Highness, this is the price decided by those above. Of course, this matter is somewhat unfair to your Highness. Therefore, those above have instructed that in the future, while 9th Princess is in Two Realms City, Drunken Immortal Tower will take special care of you." Xianxia stood and walked before Zhu King. That high-grade earth-rank martial technique was worth 50 million gold coins. Now you wish to compensate me with only 10 million. Do you think the Jiang Kingdom royal family is so easy to bully? Zhu King looked straight at Xianxia. "Your Highness, this is already the best possible outcome." There was already a hint of threat in her words. Xianxia narrowed her eyes. Killing intent appeared within them. Zhu King, however, remained indifferent and showed not the slightest fear. In Jiang Kingdom, Drunken Immortal Tower had truly never feared anyone. At that moment, Ye Xuan suddenly spoke from the side. "Is Drunken Immortal Tower not being a little too dishonorable by doing this?" Zhu King turned and looked at him coldly. "Dishonorable? My Drunken Immortal Tower is already being very honorable by offering compensation. After saying this, she looked coldly at Jiangju. "Your Highness, farewell," she turned to leave. Jiangju's expression was extremely ugly. Killing intent could no longer be hidden in her eyes. Because Drunken Immortal Tower was clearly relying on its power to bully others, but she could not act. She truly could not offend Drunken Immortal Tower. Even more, she could not refuse to give Drunken Immortal Tower face. At that moment, Ye Xuan suddenly appeared in front of Zhu King and said seriously, "I think you should be reasonable. Something worth 50 million was lost by you. Now you only agree to pay 10 million, does that really make sense?" Zhu King took one step forward and looked directly at Ye Xuan. "Even if we do not compensate a single coin, what can you do?" Ye Xuan said heavily, "You are relying on power to bully others." Zhu King sneered. "My Drunken Immortal Tower is relying on power to bully others. What of it? Are you unconvinced?" At that moment, Ye Xuan suddenly drew the golden saber at his waist and slashed toward Zhu King. Slash. Her entire arm flew straight away, blood splattered everywhere. Jiangju, standing nearby, was completely stunned. At this moment, Ye Xuan pressed the golden saber in his hand against Zhu King's neck. "I am unconvinced." After saying this, he pressed the golden saber downward. Hiss. Zhu King's skin was cut open and blood flowed down. The camp became silent. Zhu King stood before Ye Xuan, staring fixedly at him. Her face was deathly pale. In her eyes, besides ferocity, there was disbelief. Because she truly had not expected the person before her to dare attack her. Behind her stood Drunken Immortal Tower. In Jiangju's eyes on the other side, there was also disbelief. Because she had not expected Ye Xuan to act. The power behind this woman was Drunken Immortal Tower. Trouble. That was Jiangju's first thought. At this moment, Zhu King gritted her teeth and said, "Do you know what you are doing?" Ye Xuan raised the golden saber in his hand slightly. A line of blood immediately dripped from the blade. His face carried no emotion. "Did you not ask whether I was unconvinced?" "My answer is that I am unconvinced." Zhu King turned to look at Jiangju. "Ninth Highness, is this your person? What is this? Does your royal family wish to declare war on my Drunken Immortal Tower?" Jiangju walked up to Ye Xuan. She looked at him. "Do you know what you are doing?" Ye Xuan nodded. Jiangju said heavily, "The consequences are very serious." Ye Xuan said softly, "I did not like watching her rely on power to bully you." Jiangju stared at Ye Xuan. "But do you know that I may now have to pay a very great price to settle this matter? I may not even be able to settle it at all." Ye Xuan replied, "Let me handle it." Jiangju suddenly grew angry. "You handle it? How will you handle it? If Drunken Immortal Tower wants to kill you, it will be as simple as pinching an ant to death." Beside them, Zhu King sneered and was about to speak. But at that moment, Jiangju suddenly struck Zhu King's throat with her palm. Crack. Blood sprayed from Zhu King's mouth and her body collapsed. As she fell, her eyes were filled with disbelief. Ye Xuan was stunned as well. He had not expected Jiangju to kill Zhu King. At that moment, Jiangju said, "Remember this, I killed this person. It has nothing to do with you. In a moment, you immediately leave Two Realms City and return to Kanglan Academy. Pretend you were never here." After saying this, she turned and walked out of the camp. Ye Xuan asked, "What about you?" Jiangju turned back and glanced at him. "No matter what happens to me, you must leave Two Realms City now. Do you understand?" After saying this, she turned and left the tent. Ye Xuan stood inside the tent looking at Zhu King's corpse on the ground. He sighed softly, "Damn it. Did I just come into conflict with Drunken Immortal Tower?" Outside the camp, Jiangju had only just left the tent and taken a few steps when an invisible power appeared above the military camp. Before long, an old man in black appeared not far in front of Jiangju. At the same time, behind her appeared another old man and three black-clothed figures. Jiangju looked at the old man. "You must be the newly appointed 9th Tower Master of Drunken Immortal Tower, correct?" The previous Tower Master of Drunken Immortal Tower had suddenly disappeared, and then Drunken Immortal Tower had appointed a new master. She had heard news of this as well. The old man in black said softly, "That is this old man." After saying this, he looked toward the tent behind Jiangju. Manager Zu's soul tablet shattered. I assume she has already. I killed her, Xianxia said. Hearing this, the old man in black immediately narrowed his eyes. A cold light appeared in his pupils. Xianxia walked before the old man. Earlier, I sent a high-grade Earth-rank martial technique to Drunken Immortal Tower for auction. That martial technique was stolen. Yet Manager Zhu came to tell me that Drunken Immortal Tower did not wish to compensate me properly. And even said Drunken Immortal Tower wanted to rely on power to bully others, so I killed her. The old man in black stared fixedly at Xianxia. Ninth Highness, no matter the reason, you killed someone from my Drunken Immortal Tower. Xianxia nodded, yes. But this matter has nothing to do with the Jiang Kingdom royal family. I believe you do not wish to involve the entire Jiang royal family either, correct? The old man in black said, forgive this old man for speaking directly, but my Drunken Immortal Tower does not fear your Jiang Kingdom royal family. Xianxia smiled, so you wish to start a war with my royal family. Then let me speak directly as well. You do not have the authority to make that decision. The old man in black stared at Xianxia for a long while, then he said, if your highness does not give me a satisfactory answer, then from today onward, Drunken Immortal Tower in Jiang Kingdom will no longer sell anything to the Jiang royal family. The grain, weapons, and armor your royal family requires will no longer be available. In addition, the high-ranking generals under 9th Princess should also be a little careful. They should not lose their heads the moment they step outside. Xianxia looked at the old man. The old man looked back at hers. Their gazes were both ice-cold. At this moment, Xianxia suddenly said, this matter has nothing to do with the Jiang royal family. I will return to Drunken Immortal Tower with you and let Drunken Immortal Tower deal with me. Your Highness, you cannot. An old man behind Xianxia suddenly said, Your Highness, this absolutely cannot happen. If you are not here, Tang Kingdom will certainly have no more fear. They will definitely lead troops to occupy Two Realm City. You. Xianxia raised her right hand and interrupted the old man. She looked toward the old man in black. You have already obtained a high-grade Earth-rank martial technique for nothing. Now if I go back with you, you should gain even more. Is that not so? The old man laughed softly. Then please return to Drunken Immortal Tower with me, Your Highness. After saying this, he turned to leave. But at that moment, a voice suddenly sounded from behind. Wait. After that voice, a man walked out of the tent. That person was naturally Ye Xuan. Seeing Ye Xuan, Xianxia's expression changed slightly. She walked up to him angrily. Why did you come out? Do you want to act like a hero, you? At that moment, Ye Xuan suddenly held her hand. Let me settle this. After saying this, he pulled Xianxia behind him and walked toward the old man in black. Xianxia stared blankly. Ye Xuan walked before the old man in black. The old man looked at him without any expression. Ye Xuan said in a deep voice, I have two demands. First, apologize to little Jiu. Second, Drunken Immortal Tower compensates us with 50 million gold coins. The old man laughed mockingly. Who do you think you are, you? At that moment, Ye Xuan suddenly took out a purple card and held it before the old man. When the old man saw this purple card, his expression immediately changed. A purple card. This was second only to the black card in Drunken Immortal Tower. And this kind of card was something that even a 9th Tower Master like him did not have the authority to give out. At the very least, only a 5th Tower Master or someone above had the qualifications to gift such a purple card. Ye Xuan looked directly at the old man in black. I want to see the 3rd Tower Master of your Drunken Immortal Tower. Summon him here immediately. The old man stared at Ye Xuan. Who exactly are you? Why do you have a purple card, you? Ye Xuan waved his hand. You are not qualified to speak with me. Summon the 3rd Tower Master. The people standing behind Ye Xuan revealed surprised expressions. The face of the old man in black became ugly. Since becoming the 9th Tower Master, he had never been humiliated like this. But he did not dare grow angry because the person before him had a purple card. And someone who possessed a purple card definitely did not have an ordinary identity. The old man thought for a while, then said, I believe there must be some misunderstanding between everyone. We. At this time, Ye Xuan interrupted the old man again. Do you not understand my words? As he spoke, his gaze turned cold. You are not qualified to speak with me. Tell the third tower master of your Drunken Immortal Tower to come out. At this moment, not only was the old man not angry, he became even more fearful. This young man before him dared speak to him in this way. Even using one's rear to think, it was obvious that he had a backer. After hesitating for a while, the old man in black finally chose to crush a black transmission stone. Clearly, he was not certain who stood behind this young man, and he did not dare make the matter bigger. Seeing the old man in black call someone, Ye Xuan secretly breathed a sigh of relief. Do not be fooled by his calm appearance. In truth, he was very afraid inside. Because if the old man in black had not called the third tower master, then Ye Xuan really would have had no way forward. He could not very well tell the old man that there was a peerless sword immortal behind him, could he? Even if he said that, the other party might not believe him. But if the silver-haired old man came, he would definitely believe it. Not long after, another silver-haired old man appeared. This person was none other than the third tower master of Drunken Immortal Tower. Seeing him, Ye Xuan secretly breathed another sigh of relief. He suddenly felt that this old man was actually quite kind. When the silver-haired old man saw Ye Xuan, he was also slightly stunned. Then he walked up to Ye Xuan and greeted him with a smile. Little friend, it has been a long time. Seeing this, the old man in black was stunned. Xianxia and the others behind Ye Xuan were also stunned. They were this familiar. Ye Xuan did not put on airs. He immediately bowed to the silver-haired old man. Greetings, senior. Seeing Ye Xuan bow, appreciation flashed in the old man's eyes. He smiled. Is your master still well? Ye Xuan smiled. She is well. At this point, his expression suddenly became serious. Then he bowed to the silver-haired old man again. Senior, please uphold justice for me. The old man froze slightly. Behind him, the old man in black's expression turned somewhat ugly. The silver-haired old man looked at Ye Xuan. Does it concern my Drunken Immortal Tower? Ye Xuan nodded. Earlier, I asked 9th Princess to sell a high-grade Earth-rank martial technique at Drunken Immortal Tower. Unexpectedly, an accident happened, and that martial technique was stolen. Afterward, a manager from Drunken Immortal Tower came to speak with us. As he spoke, he recounted what had happened with Zhu King and the old man in black. He did not exaggerate or add anything. When the silver-haired old man heard Ye Xuan repeat the phrase, my Drunken Immortal Tower wants to rely on power to bully others, his eyelids immediately twitched. How had Tower Master Han on the flying ship died back then? Was it not also because of this exact sentence? Back then, this sentence had nearly caused a peerless sword immortal to vent anger upon all of Drunken Immortal Tower. Although the matter had eventually been settled, Drunken Immortal Tower had still lost 2 tower masters. At this moment, Ye Xuan bowed again to the silver-haired old man. Senior, this junior has no other request. I only hope Senior will uphold justice. The old man fell silent. 50 million gold coins, that was not a small number. But standing behind the person before him was a sword immortal. Seeing the old man remain silent, Ye Xuan continued, does Senior have some difficulty? If there is difficulty, then I do not want this 50 million gold coins anymore. After saying this, he gave a bitter smile. My master was right. If you are weak, anyone can bully you. After saying this, he turned and cupped his fist toward 9th Princess. 9th Princess, we shall meet again. With that, he turned to leave. Xianxia was stunned, then asked, where are you going? Ye Xuan stopped, to find my master. Then he strode quickly into the distance. Ye Xuan walked away with a face full of grief and indignation, as though he had suffered a great injustice. But inside his heart, he was shouting non-stop, old man, call me back. Damn it, hurry and call me back. At this moment, Ye Xuan's heart was extremely panicked. Find his master, find what master? The farther he walked, the faster he went. Cold sweat gradually appeared on his forehead. At that moment, the silver-haired old man not far away suddenly spoke. Little friend, please wait. To Ye Xuan, that voice was like music from the heavens. If the old man had not called him back, he truly would only have been able to keep walking. Ye Xuan stopped and turned to look at the silver-haired old man. The old man smiled. "Little friend, such a small matter does not need to trouble your master." After saying this, he turned to the old man in black beside him. "Go and withdraw 50 million gold coins." Hearing the silver-haired old man's words, everyone present was stunned. Especially the old man in black. After a moment of shock, he said, "Third Tower Master, 50 million. The silver-haired old man frowned slightly. "Hurry." Hearing this, the old man in black did not dare delay any longer. He glanced at Ye Xuan not far away, then turned and left. Xianxia, standing not far from Ye Xuan, stared at him. Her eyes were filled with curiosity. The silver-haired old man looked at Ye Xuan and examined him for a moment. Surprise appeared in his eyes. A moment later, he shook his head and smiled, as expected of the sword. At this point, he paused slightly, then continued, as expected of that senior-s disciple. "Your ability, even within my Drunken Immortal Tower, has few who can compare. Young man, your future is very promising." Ye Xuan smiled lightly. "Senior praises me too much." The silver-haired old man smiled, not arrogant, not rash. "Your temperament is quite good, Ye Xuan." At this moment, the old man in black who had left earlier returned. He handed Ye Xuan a golden card. Inside this card are 50 million gold coins. Your Excellency may withdraw them anywhere in Qingzhou or from my Drunken Immortal Tower. Ye Xuan accepted the golden card and cupped his fist toward the silver-haired old man. "Many thanks." The silver-haired old man hesitated for a moment, then said, "Little friend, although there have been many misunderstandings between you and my Drunken Immortal Tower, they are still only misunderstandings, correct?" Ye Xuan answered seriously, "Of course." The silver-haired old man laughed. "This old man still has matters to attend to, so I will take my leave first." "Ah, yes. Please send my greetings to your master. If possible, another day, little friend, please come to my Drunken Immortal Tower together with your master." Ye Xuan bowed slightly. "When the time comes, we will have to trouble you." The silver-haired old man smiled. "You will be most welcome, farewell." After saying this, he turned and disappeared on the spot. The old man in black disappeared with him. Somewhere elsewhere, the old man in black suddenly asked, "Third Tower Master, Drunken Immortal Tower did not need to pay that 50 million at all." The silver-haired old man looked coldly at the old man in black. "Not pay? If we do not pay, do you want to die?" The old man in black was shocked. What is the origin of that young man? The silver-haired old man slowly closed his eyes. He is someone my Drunken Immortal Tower cannot touch. Hearing this, the old man in black revealed a shocked expression. "How is that possible?" The silver-haired old man said softly, "Do you know how Tower Master Han and the 8th Tower Master died?" Without waiting for the old man in black to answer, the silver-haired old man continued. They were ended by a single sword strike from that young man's master. Even those two could not withstand one sword. The old man in black froze. The silver-haired old man turned his head and glanced toward the distant sky. "I originally thought this young man would join Kangmu Academy. I did not expect those fools from Kangmu Academy to drive him away. Haha. This time there will be a good show to watch." After saying this, he looked at the old man in black. "You are not allowed to tell outsiders anything about this young man. Let Kangmu Academy continue seeking death. Also, from now on, while this young man is in Jiang Kingdom, you are to draw him in for me. Do not go looking for trouble with him for no reason. This old man does not want to spend every day cleaning up your messes." After saying this, the silver-haired old man flashed and vanished into the distant sky. The old man in black remained dazed for a long time. In front of the tent, after the silver-haired old man and the old man in black left, Xianxia walked up to Ye Xuan. She stared fixedly at him, as though seeing him for the first time. Ye Xuan smiled and asked, "What is it?" Xianxia said softly, pretending to be a pig to eat the tiger. Ye Xuan smiled bitterly. "Actually, this matter is somewhat..." Xianxia suddenly interrupted him. "You do not need to tell me. A person must know how to be cautious. Understand?" Ye Xuan smiled. "All right." Hearing this, Jiangju glared at him. I said you did not need to tell me, and you really will not tell me. Ye Xuan froze. Seeing Ye Xuan's dazed expression, Jiangju could not help laughing. She turned and looked around. Immediately, the surrounding experts and soldiers all withdrew. At this moment, Ye Xuan handed the golden card in his hand to Jiangju. For you. Jiangju looked at the golden card in Ye Xuan's hand and fell silent. The smile on her face gradually disappeared. What is wrong? Ye Xuan asked. Jiangju raised her head and looked at him. This is 50 million gold coins. Ye Xuan grinned. I know. To be honest, when I received this card just now, my hands were trembling a little too, because I have never held this much money before. Jiangju looked at him. You do not need to give it to me. Ye Xuan stuffed the card into her hand. Why have you become so long-winded? Jiangju smiled brightly. Fine. After saying this, she put the golden card away. As if thinking of something, she turned her head to the side. Before long, an old man appeared beside her. The old man handed a blue box to Ye Xuan. Young Master Yi, this is a fire spirit. A few days ago, Your Highness sent this old man to the imperial capital overnight to find the king. This fire spirit is the only one in the royal family. Her Highness asked the king for it, but enough. At this moment, Jiangju suddenly spoke. What is the point of saying these things? After saying this, she looked at Ye Xuan. I know your younger sister is ill. This fire spirit should be useful to her. Also, I have asked Imperial Father to send Jiang Kingdom's best medical Dao Grandmaster to Kanglin Academy. I do not know the result yet. Ye Xuan put away the blue box, then looked at Jiangju and said seriously, thank you. Jiangju glanced at the golden card in her hand, shook her head and sighed. You fool. You have taken such a great loss, yet you are still thanking me. You truly are a fool. Ye Xuan. Boom. At this moment, a loud explosion suddenly rang out from Two Realms Mountain. Afterward, a white mushroom cloud appeared in the sky above Two Realms City. Ye Xuan and Jiangju both turned to look toward Two Realms Mountain. Jiangju's brows immediately furrowed. They have broken the restriction on that spirit vein. It seems war is about to come. Why? Ye Xuan did not understand. Jiangju replied softly, once the restriction on that spirit vein is broken, spiritual energy will definitely leak out. Two Realms City will certainly benefit the most. At that time, this place will become a land of excellent fortune and geomancy. Many forces and noble clans will want to come here. And this place is also not merely an important military location. Tang Kingdom definitely will not let this place go. After saying this, she turned to look at Ye Xuan. You should return to the imperial capital. Ye Xuan thought for a moment, then nodded. He did not understand great military affairs between two armies, and he could not help much here. Besides, he had been away for quite some time. It was time to go back. At that moment, Jiangju said again, be careful on your way back. What do you mean? Ye Xuan asked, puzzled. Jiangju said in a deep voice, according to what I know, Kangmu Academy is investigating you in every detail. That academy acts very domineeringly, no less than Drunken Immortal Tower. Once they uncover certain details about you, they may stab you in the back. Ye Xuan frowned slightly. They lack confidence that much. Jiangju shook her head. It is not that they lack confidence. It is that they want to ensure no loss. Back then, several geniuses of Kanglin Academy vanished without a trace. In short, be careful. Ye Xuan thought for a moment, then nodded. I understand, then I will take my leave. We shall meet another day. After saying this, he turned and left. Jiangju watched Ye Xuan. She watched until he completely disappeared into the distance. Only then did she shake her head and smile. He truly is a fool. 2 hours later, Ye Xuan boarded a flying ship heading back to the imperial capital. Because he had a purple card, Ye Xuan stayed in a special room. It was free as well. On the deck of the flying ship, Ye Xuan looked at the small wooden doll of Ye Lion in his hand. The corner of his mouth lifted into a faint smile. After being away for so many days, the person he worried about most was Ye Lion. He had never been separated from Ye Lion for so long. As if thinking of something, he took out the small wooden doll of Lianxiu as well. Looking at the wooden doll in his hand, the smile on his face became even deeper. But very soon that smile gradually disappeared, leaving only a grave expression behind, and Lianxiu. He looked toward the distant end of the sky. After coming into contact with Lianxiu several times, he naturally knew that Lianxiu's background was not simple. Someone even Drunken Immortal Tower and Kangmu Academy did not dare easily offend. How could her background be ordinary? After a while, a smile suddenly appeared at the corner of Ye Xuan's mouth. I will go find you. When that time comes, whoever dares stop me, I will beat them to death. At that moment, a black shadow suddenly appeared above the flying ship. Immediately after, a terrifying aura and a huge illusory palm suddenly descended from the sky like thunder. Heavy, powerful. The moment it appeared, cracks immediately spread across the flying ship. Countless terrified cries rang out one after another. On the deck of the flying ship, when Ye Xuan saw the huge illusory palm descend, his expression suddenly changed. Without the slightest hesitation, he jumped off the flying ship. The flying ship was already several hundred zhang above the ground. But at this moment, he had no choice but to jump. If he did not jump, then once that palm descended, he would definitely die. If he jumped, there might still be a chance to live. The moment Ye Xuan jumped from the flying ship, the entire flying ship behind him exploded. Ye Xuan continued falling from the sky. His speed grew faster and faster. At his current falling speed, when he hit the ground, he would probably turn into a pile of flesh. Not to mention him, even a nether passage realm demonic beast falling from this height would have its bones shattered. His speed continued increasing. In the end, even the clothes on his body were torn into pieces. What should he do? Ye Xuan knew that panic at this moment would only make him die faster. So although his face did not change, his mind was racing. When he was about 100 zhang from the ground, he drew the Lianxiu Sword and gripped it tightly in his hand. Whether I live or die now depends entirely on you, big brother. As soon as he finished speaking, he crazily poured the profound energy inside him into the sword and roared in midair, rise with sword control. But the Lianxiu Sword only trembled slightly and did not lift at all. Giving up now meant accepting death. Ye Xuan continued urging it, sword control, Kai control. Use Kai to control the sword. One thought after another flashed through his mind like lightning. A moment later, he suddenly released his hand. The Lianxiu Sword transformed into a streak of sword light and shot out. Seeing this, Ye Xuan was overjoyed. But when he saw that the sword was flying farther and farther away without any intention of returning, he cried out in panic, come back. In that instant, Ye Xuan suddenly sensed an invisible connection between himself and the Lianxiu Sword. He closed his eyes and hurriedly urged the Kai inside his body. When he was only about 10 zhang from the ground, Lianxiu transformed into a bolt of lightning and shot toward Ye Xuan. He hurriedly reached out and grabbed it with both hands. The distance was now only a few zhang. At the instant he was about to strike the ground, the Lianxiu Sword suddenly trembled violently and pulled Ye Xuan upward. However, it only lifted him a little before he fell again. Boom. The impact of man and sword caused the ground around him to tremble violently. Dust and sand flew everywhere. But Ye Xuan was laughing like a madman. Because the Lianxiu Sword had pulled him up for a short distance, all the force of his fall had been neutralized. A height of 10 zhang was completely within the range his body could endure. Although it felt somewhat uncomfortable, it would not threaten his life. Most importantly, in that moment of life and death, by sheer accident, he had comprehended how to control the sword. He had understood on his own how to use Kai to control the sword. After laughing for a long while, Ye Xuan suddenly came back to himself. He hurriedly climbed up and hid in a nearby forest, climbing onto the trunk of a tree. He looked up at the sky, his gaze turning cold. Who was it? Who dared attack a flying ship of Drunken Immortal Tower? The first thought that appeared in his mind was Kangmu Academy. That was the only force in Jiang Kingdom capable of doing such a thing, but what was their motive? At that moment, a trace of aura came from the distance. When Ye Xuan recognized it, his expression changed slightly. He hurriedly jumped down from the branch. The character Earth appeared between his brows, Dao Rule. He lay flat on the ground and used the power of the earth to merge with the earth, using the aura of the land to conceal himself. Not far away, an old man and a woman walked over. When Ye Xuan saw them, his face twisted with fury. They were none other than Kangmu Academy's vice head Mo Song and Baiken. Mo Song looked around and said with a dark face, "Why can we not see his corpse?" Baiken said in a low voice, "Master, there was no need to do this. I am certain I could kill him in the coming duel." But Mo Song shook his head. "You do not understand. According to our investigation, this person is not simple. He is not only a quasi-martial Dao Grandmaster, but also a great sword cultivator. There are even rumors that he once killed a manager of Drunken Immortal Tower, yet was not pursued for it. When he was still in the imperial capital, the difference between his strength and yours was like heaven and earth. Yet at Two Realms Mountain, even though he had only reached the imperial Kai realm, he was already able to exchange blows with you. In such a short period of time, he improved so much." At this point, he looked at Baiken. "It is not that Master does not believe in you. But my Kangmu Academy must absolutely win this duel. No mistakes can be allowed. The reputation of our academy must be protected." Baiken did not speak. Mo Song continued, "Do not think too much. The academy has absolute confidence in you. But that Ye Xuan is simply too mysterious. He may be the legendary sword body. If he is allowed to develop freely, he will certainly become a great threat to our academy. This time, he traveled alone. National scholar and is also not in the country. This is the perfect opportunity to kill him. In order to leave no future trouble, I could only do this." After hesitating for a while, Baiken said, "Master, if this matter spreads..." Mo Song smiled faintly. "Spreads? First, no one knows about this. Even if they guess that Kangmu Academy did it, would anyone dare step forward and criticize us? No. In Jiang Kingdom, no one has the courage to do such a thing. After a few more months, the world will completely forget the two words Ye Xuan." Baiken remained silent again. Mo Song looked around once more and could not help frowning. Why is there still no corpse? Baiken also looked around and said, he had only reached the Imperial Kai realm. Falling from such a height means certain death. Perhaps his bones and flesh were shattered in midair. Mo Song nodded, that makes sense. Fine, we will not search for his corpse any longer. Let us return to the imperial capital. Fenju has returned. Based on his temperament, those students of Kanglin Academy are about to experience a life worse than death. It is only a pity Ye Xuan is dead. Otherwise, Fenju could have punished him properly. The two of them left together. Ye Xuan lay on the ground, his expression cold as ice. As expected, it was Kangmu Academy. It seemed his strength had already made them wary, despicable. He stood up, his eyes filled with killing intent as he stared in the direction where the two had left. Just you wait. Ye Xuan was truly trembling with fury. If he had not comprehended how to control the sword with Kai in that moment of life and death, he would truly have been smashed into minced flesh. But this incident also served as a warning to him. The forces in the imperial capital were far more vile and shameless than the small factions in King City. In order to achieve their goals, these noble clans and academies would use any means necessary. Ye Xuan cut off these thoughts. He rested and recovered, then returned to Two Realms City. The imperial capital was too far away. He could not run all the way back. Even if he did, it would probably take half a month. Ye Xuan ran quickly along the mountain road, with the Lianxiu Sword hovering close beside him. He felt somewhat helpless. He did not know exactly what he was still lacking that prevented him from flying by controlling the sword. But at least he could now control the sword. In future battles, he could use it as an extremely powerful killing move. As for flying by sword, he could only set that aside for now. Two Realms City. An old man hurried into Jiangju's tent and reported in a low voice, "Your Highness, young Master Ye's flying ship has met with trouble." Jiangju shot to her feet. "What do you mean?" The old man answered in a low voice. An entire flying ship suddenly shattered. The reason is still unclear, but someone was likely involved. We are still... Jiangju interrupted him. What about him? After hesitating for a while, the old man answered, his life and death are unknown. But falling from that height, boom. A powerful aura suddenly swept out from Jiangju's body. The old man was forced back again and again. Jiangju coldly interrupted him, "Send people to search. Search with everything we have." The old man bowed slightly and hurried away. Inside the tent, Jiangju's expression was frighteningly dark. At that moment, another soldier rushed in. "Your Highness, urgent report from the imperial capital. Kangmu Academy's Fenju has returned. He is now heading toward Kanglin Academy, Fenju." Jiangju's brows furrowed tightly. "He has already returned," the soldier nodded. "He came back half a day ago. He went straight to Kanglin Academy after returning." Jiangju's face turned even uglier. A moment later, she suddenly stood and walked out of the tent. Outside, she looked toward the distant imperial capital. "Ye Xuan, you must stay alive. Imperial capital, Kanglin Academy." At this moment, outside Kanglin Hall, many Kangmu Academy students had gathered. In front of them stood a young man in a fiery red robe. His hair was also faintly red, and his entire body emitted a hot aura. This young man was none other than Fenju, one of Kangmu Academy's two great geniuses. Beside Fenju stood a group of Kangmu Academy students. Across from them, in front of Kanglin Hall, stood Xianxia. She held a saber in her hand and looked calmly at Fenju and the others. Inside the hall, Ye Lian was also present. She looked somewhat frightened, but she still stood behind Xianxia. Fenju glanced around, then said coldly, "Where is Ye Xuan?" Xianxia said nothing. Fenju smiled coldly. "I heard he was very arrogant. He killed students of my Kangmu Academy and dared challenge my academy. What is this? Now that I am here, he does not dare come out." Xianxia looked at him. "He is not here, not here," Fenju sneered. "Then are you here to receive my anger on his behalf?" As soon as he finished speaking, he disappeared. Whoosh. The ground in front of Xianxia split open. She drew her saber and slashed down. Boom. A deafening explosion rang out, and Xianxia was forced back into the hall. Fenju was about to continue when a Kangmu Academy student behind him pointed at Ye Lian and shouted, "Senior Fenju. That little girl is Ye Xuan's younger sister. If she is here, then that fellow must be hiding somewhere nearby." The moment Fenju looked over, Ye Lian immediately turned and ran. Unfortunately, in a flash, Fenju had already arrived in front of her. He grabbed her by the hair and lifted her into the air, making tears of pain appear in her eyes. Inside the hall, Xianxia leapt up and slashed with her saber, tearing through the air toward Fenju. But almost immediately, she had to withdraw her saber when she saw him place Ye Lian in front of himself as a shield. Xianxia glared angrily. "Despicable, despicable," Fenju smiled mockingly. "Do not think I fear you. I simply do not want to kill people. Tell Ye Xuan to come to Kangmu and accept death within 1 hour. Otherwise, Kang Mountain will have another corpse." He dragged Ye Lian away. Xianxia said coldly, "You take a little girl hostage. Are you not afraid of turning Kangmu Academy into the laughingstock of the world?" "Laughingstock?" Fenju turned his head. "In Jiang Kingdom, who dares laugh at my Kangmu?" Xianxia did not conceal the killing intent gradually rising in her eyes. "A man, yet you use such a vile method." The corner of Fenju's mouth curled in ridicule. "A true man does not shrink from any means when doing what must be done. I will say no more. Just remember this. Within the next hour, if Ye Xuan does not appear at the foot of Kang Mountain, tell him to come collect his sister's corpse. He dared kill students of my Kangmu Academy. If he does not dare pay with his own life, then I will make his sister die in his place." After saying this, he took Ye Lian and left. Xianxia hurriedly crushed a transmission stone. Not long afterward, a figure was rushing through the mountains at full speed. As Ye Xuan ran, he laughed loudly. "Lion, Big Brother is back."